Hey guys, before I get into tonight's real business, I just want to say to each and every one of you, them running very scared. Your voices, your reactions, your messages is making them very, very uncomfortable all across this country. Keep it up. Keep it that way. When they open their mouths and say anything, just ask them about your rightful share of your own wealth. That's all. I was so happy when I saw Red Thread with a huge group of persons, mostly women, on the streets in front of the State House, protesting for full liability coverage of an oil spill the other day. Wow, I'm happy. Even more happy when I saw another civil society group telling the government to channel their rage towards the oil companies instead of the advocates, the media, the people who are calling for better deal on the oil contract. I love it. How can I not smile when I see these things, Uncle? Yeah, we are getting closer to where we have to go, and the government nor the opposition, along with ExxonMobil, can stop us. I am feeling it everywhere I go, and I am even smelling it in the air. Today, in the Kaieteur News, yet another international organization is also calling on President Ali not to approve any other project without first putting systems and laws in place so that Guyana can be on the safe and right side to collect their rightful cash from the oil. Man, I love it, Uncle. It's growing. The people are waking up. And let me say, I love you guys. Namaste. A few weeks back, I went to Pomona on the Essequibo coast and gave a little presentation to just over 100 residents there. A PPP man named some Chowkat Ali met the owner of the house. His name is Son, last week at the cremation site, and asked Son why he bring Lall to his home. Son turned and asked the PPP man if that so-and-so house is yours, to tell me who should come in and who should go out. Very loud. I love you, Son. And I love the answer you give him. Then, Son told me, Chowkat tried to cool him down by saying, calm down, and tell Son, President Ali walk around and say about one Guyana. So Son responded and said, wait, Lall and me not included in that one Guyana? He felt shame and walked away. The bullet biting all of them. They're getting scared. They're trying to defend President Ali and Vice President Jagdeo incompetent or corrupt behavior with what's going on with our resources. But let them know. Let them know, guys. Tell them the underwear has already been exposed, and the people who are looking, who are seeing, is horrified of what they're seeing. And they plan to take none of that. Guys, say to them nicely, when they come and try to intimidate you, yes, tell them you and the politician eating a piece of the flesh. What about my home, with my family, my neighbors and my communities and their families? Ask them what about our country? What is there for us? Then say, hey, have a nice day. Call the police if they're trying to harass you. Or call Lall. We have to win this fight, Uncle and Auntie. And you all you guys have a role to play. Let me ask this. Bernard, Danny, welcome.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste. Since when rogues, criminals, hooligans, the wicked and evil can overcome good and the truth, man?
Never.
Huh? Now, with that, I am not going to say another namaste. I just want you guys to listen to the program. Now I begin. I want you first to listen to President Ali as he told my reporters just the other day at State House how he is easily accessible to answer any questions the media has and how he don't hide from the press. Could you play him?
I don't hide, and let me tell you this. Mr. Lall knows this. If he has a question, you can send a question to me. You send a question to my office and you will get an answer. I am open to the press. I am very, very much open to the press. I am available to the press.
Well, Auntie, well, Uncle, 43 days has passed since my reporter sent him a message in which the auditors who worked with the Trinidad government in their oil and gas industry and save Trinidad millions upon millions of US dollars through skullduggeries the oil companies was pulling on that country, is offering their services. Let me repeat. Those people is offering their services to come to Guyana free of cost to check Exxon, Mobil, and the other inflated bills. Uncle, these people want no money up front. All they're asking for is a small part of whatever they recover for Guyana. Man, how can we go wrong with an offer like that? Especially when Jack Dale's saying he's still searching for people to check and say he can't find nobody. Presently, Guyana getting robbed left, right, and center with our eyes wide open. And here's a company, Uncle, that is willing to come and whatever they recover, they just want 25% to pay the few people that will be helping out so that both Guyana and them can come out winners.
Amen to that.
Thank you. Auntie and Uncle, as it is, we're losing 100% with those inflated bills. So if a man willing to help you and only want 25% of what he recover for you, how can we go wrong, brother? How can we go wrong, sister? You're gaining 75%. You hear me? As to nothing we get into today.
Exactly. Win-win.
You want to hear more? The reporter resent that message several times back to President Ali, yet he did not respond. Now hear this one, guys. After he did not respond to the reporter, I myself sent and resent that same message in which President Ali read it and went numb and silent. Uncle, Here you have a known gangster, ExxonMobil, who would snatch out a candy from a baby's mouth and replace it with a piece of brick. A gangster that would yank out the walking stick from the elderly. A demon that would snatch away the dog that is leading the blind. A devil that would even rob his sickly mother. And President Ali and Jagdeo knows this. Here is a company out of Trinidad that is willing to invest their time, their own money and expertise to come here and help we check the billions in bills. What Jagdeo say, he can't find people to audit. And Guyana don't have to spend a cent. Let me repeat, man. Guyana don't have to send a cent on these people. And President Ali gone in a coma on such an offer. You guys tell me, on God's earth that we are living on, these guys really wants to check anything Exxon does in our country? With this type of attitude, this blatant disrespect for our own oil? Uncle, clearly, these guys are not sincere and honest when they say they want people to check and they can't find. No, they can't be honest. People are ready to help free. The information is in front of them. I put it there. And now everybody gone silent. This is a company with vast experience in spotting all the crookery, thievery, and schemes that oil companies have been robbing countries. They know it, Bernard. They know all the loopholes.
That's right.
Let me repeat. They have saved Trinidad and Tobago millions upon millions of US in their oil sector. And now they're ready to do the same for me and you, uncle and auntie, so that our starving nation can see at least the light of the day. And President Ali refused to budge or blink an eye on something like this.
Which side he's on?
How can anyone run a half and half business and refuse to accept this kind of export help when you get it, brother? Help in which you have to pay nothing up front, that can put American billions in your pockets, in which you can pay off all your debts, give a huge relief to your people, and don't have to borrow to eat. You guys see the trouble this country is in? If we don't stop these people with what they're doing now, I don't know. I really don't know. Make up your mind to send your children to school with empty lunch kits for generations to come if we don't stop them. Let me make this thing more clear for you, uncle. For the fishermen and the cane cutters. By them refusing to check these bills, they are pushing every Guyanese down an extremely deep hole. Yes, a deep and dark hole in which we will never be able to see sunlight ever if these people are not stopped in their tracks. You can do the maths. Do the maths. And you will see every man, woman, and child what they lose out on because President Ali Jagdeo and the opposition let the time expire and didn't check those bills of 40 billion American dollars in Lisa 1, 2, 3, and now 4. Guys, every man, woman, and child lost $5 million there. Half of that, 40 billion, I believe, is inflated and doesn't belong to the Guyana books. Uncle and auntie are talking about 20 billion out of that 40 billion. Guyana has to pay like a donkey without checking or verifying those bills. Like I said, by not checking that, every Guyanese man, woman, and child should have had $5 million plus in their bank books right now. I want to repeat, and you can do the maths yourself. 20 billion divided by 750,000 Guyanese, uncle, is 26,600 US, which is over 5 million Guyana dollar. You see how simple it is, Bernard? Let me take it a step higher for you guys. By President Ali, Jagdeo, Norton, and Ramjatan them not checking those bills. Hear this one, Bernard. Every single one of the 250 households Guyana has, it used to be 220,000. So let's put it at 250,000 household, uncle and auntie. All of them lost 80,000 US dollar or 16 million Guyana dollar already.
Yeah.
Uncle, this is only from 3-4 projects. For the cast net, the boat, the icebox, the basket, and the engine on them projects. These politicians have nobody in place to verify these things. And these suckers going to approve more and more projects for continue this large-scale robbery of our resources. Am I going to hear this in the rum shops, the street corners, with your neighbors? Or y'all will be hoping to get a 75,000 or 100,000 when Christmas comes and be happy with that? Y'all please discuss this 5 million we lose out, every man, woman, and child. Or discuss the $16 million every household, every shack lose out on. Losing out that kind of money, Bernard, already on that one aspect of this oil business, every household, like I said, be it a shack or a tent, could have already been collecting $1 million every month for the next 16 months. And out of that 16 million, no, you should be collecting 1 million every month for the next 16 months out of that $16 million. Or 1 million every year for 16 years out of that $16 million. Anyhow you want to protect it, monthly or yearly. But plenty of you like for a giant line, like animals, jumping for joy and clapping your hands when you get a little $25,000 or $19,000 a year. But are this country really serious? Huh? Uncle and auntie, I chase these people when them come around y'all. Please. They're thieving from you and even your unborn children. Wait, man. y'all would stay quiet and allow Jagdeo to approve the 5th project, Bernard?
Hell no.
Yeah? Oh yeah? Really? Or y'all would come out into the streets? Forget about you, uncle. Can you come out into the streets for your children and grandchildren's sake and put a stop to this man's scheme? I hope so. You know, sometimes, many times, many times, I ask myself, what amount of money these leaders collecting for themselves? How much money Exxon bargain with them for throw every Guyanese under the truck wheel like this? Eh? For not even going through the motions by putting our high school kids to check and verify these bills. Eh? Yeah. How much more greedy these guys can get in this life? To what extent more they will go to deny us our rightful share from our, from our oil and the rest of our resources? May I ask again that question? Uncle, 20 billion US dollar. Hear what it can do. It can pay off the country's $3 billion debt. 3 only, Bernard. With money, listen, with money to bridge all 3 counties in this country. Monies to build roads, fix our electricity system to end blackout completely, give us pure drinking water for life, give us a state-of-the-art medical facilities with proper schools, and triple every public servant's salaries overnight. That's what 20 billion American dollars can do, guys. And that was only if they had done the checks on those couple projects. You notice, I am not touching how much we get robbed with the daily expenses, royalties and the profits. If I am to include that, man, we would have been walking on money rather than walking on sand and mud in this land. Instead, President Ali, Jagdeo and Ashni Singh, along with the opposition, running to the IDB and China to borrow to build one single bridge, the Demerara Harbor Bridge, and patch little roads, etc. Are you hearing this nonsense going on? Yep. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when we first practice to deceive. Yes, deceive the whole Guyanese population. You know, Danny, when you tell the first lie, you can't stop. That's how you just get tangled up. Not true, Bernard?
Yeah, definitely.
I always say, look at any graveyard, uncle, and see if any one of those bodies lying in the cemetery carried any wealth with them.
Exactly.
See if you can recognize the rich from the poor, the educated from the dunce. Amen. See if they carry any gold, diamond or money with them in the casket or in the coffin.
Amen, Glenn.
Last week, I met a friend. I told him I'm foreseeing the whole of Europe falling flat on their face very soon. Then yesterday, I saw 4 huge American banks file for bankruptcy, and a number of them fall down today. They announced they lost 50 billion US dollars. You know what I mean, Bernard? Everybody who had their savings in those banks now in jeopardy.
Yep.
When people turn up at the banks yesterday, the door locked and the managers calling the police to get them away. Them same people were going through, yes, were going there for their own money. You hear me, Bernard? The people call the police to move them out. This is what big America, the United States of America, has become. The U.S. House Speaker, a man named Kevin McCarthy, said yesterday, he's talking to the American people, not only as the House Speaker, but as a father, and told them America is in 31 trillion US dollar debt, and how 2/3 of the population, 2 out of every 3, uncle and auntie, 2 out of every 3 citizens in the US is living paycheck to paycheck. Uncle and auntie, that is over 200 million people out of their 300 and something million people struggling to live day to day with the money they're working for, along with a huge debt on their backs. You know, you guys should listen to him. Listen to his words out of his own mouth. Play him for me.
Good evening. I'm Kevin McCarthy. I have the honor of serving as the Speaker of the House. Tonight, however, I stand before you not only as a speaker. I speak to you as a father, a former small business owner, and a taxpayer. And like many of you, I worry about a future that feels less secure than it should. A lot has changed in recent years. Our southern border was once secure. Now the number of illegal immigrants who cross our border in just 2 years easily exceeds the population of 25 states. Americans are getting hammered by high prices. Today, nearly 2/3 of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, struggling to make ends meet. Meanwhile, China is infiltrating our culture, our farmland, and our skies because they see us as weak. This is not sustainable. But of all the dangers we face, the greatest threat to our future is our national debt. You deserve the truth. So let's start with the facts. Our national debt is high, too high. And the problem is getting worse, not better. We are now $31 trillion in debt. That is more than the size of the entire American economy, 20% more. Our debt is now a greater burden than it has been at any time since World War II.
Uncle, if that is happening in America, where do you think Guyana and the rest of the world is heading? The gentleman said, like many of you, he is worried about the future. Yes, the future that is shaky and frightening. Uncle and auntie, what McCarthy said there ain't got anything to do with the war or COVID or climate change. It is about bad leadership, crooked leadership. The man went on to say that China is infiltrating their land because they see us as weak and taking everything away from us. is what going on here, uncle and auntie, in our country. Not the same thing, Bernard. The government and the opposition allowing ExxonMobil, an American company, the Chinese, Canadians, and others, other foreign nations, to infiltrate Guyana. Yes, infiltrate Guyana to come take our oil, our bauxite, our timber, our manganese. Three huge gold companies already coming secretly in Guyana, fetching out your bread and butter, your children's ice cream, leaving the Guyanese people to struggle to find a meal when the day comes. Man, Uncle and Auntie, the man went on to say, this is not sustainable. We can't continue like this. That is what the third in command of the US government is saying, Uncle. And then he ends by talking about the $31 trillion debt, which is the biggest danger. And it is more than the size of the entire American economy. You know what I mean, Uncle? They're worse than Guyana under the Bonham era, when our debt was more than the country's economy. Today, we have $3 billion debt. Only $3 billion, which could have been paid off out of the $20 billion we lose out from the castnet, the engine, the boat alone. And still got $17 billion left over. Yes, man, that's 17 billion by now. Oh, you remember what Jagdev said? Jagdev used the word splurge. Splurge, meaning bingy every day. Yes, that's 17 billion American dollars with no debts on our back. Man, was bacchanal every night. Carnival every day. But I shudder to think, with this attitude of the politicians in this land, where Guyana will end up. America, Uncle, the great America was on top of the world. Now look where they are. We are on top of the world today with all this oil, gold, diamond, and bauxite. Look where we are. Whew! Look where we are. One of my staff get accident and end up at the Diamond Hospital. Yes, last night. And the x-ray machine not working. I don't know where she find the money that hour of the night, but she went to Balwan Singh. What a Guyana. 29 years I've been in this news business and have been warning Guyana over and over about the danger that these clowns pose. With these crooks, y'all keep on staining your fingers for. I say no more. I say no more on that. Jagdev going and approve the 5th project and still don't have a cockroach to check what he's going to approve. Y'all have a good night. Have a blessed evening. And let's turn to the main topic tonight. Listen to me carefully. President Ali, Jagdev, Norton, and Ramjatan has been shamelessly saying that the Exxon contract is so sacred that it can't be touched. It's set in stone, Auntie. If you touch it, the house is going to fall down. That is what sanctity of contract means, Uncle. It's like It's like God and you make a promise, an oath to God Almighty. And if you break it, you get wrong. That is the line we politicians shoving down with truth to accept. We should accept the little crumbs we're getting out of the contract and shut we mouth and be thankful. That contract can't change. It's set in stone. Uncle, this is not the Bible, the Quran, or the Bhagavad Gita. This is a contract between two men, in which one man robbing the other one blind, and we leaders talking about sacred books. These people had good? Huh? Well, ExxonMobil, these schemers, these deceivers, and these con men alone will have to live with that. That sanctity of contracting, them gotta live with it alone. Lall and the Guyanese people, I am pretty much certain, will never agree to that.
I agree. We all agree.
Not once. Not once there's a breath left in our bodies.
That's right.
This ExxonMobil contract have to change, and they themselves will be forced to change it.
Absolutely.
It's only time. God will give us the strength, the wisdom to bring about our change.
Well said, Glenn.
I want you guys to listen carefully, Bernard. I want you to listen carefully, Danny, how deceitful these politicians are, especially Bharat Jagdev to this nation. In one breath, all of them saying the ExxonMobil contract for the Stabroek Block is sacred and cannot be touched. But on the other hand, with the other side of their mouth, they're making changes, breaking the sanctity of contracts already signed with ExxonMobil, with the Kaieteur and the Kanji oil blocks. Hear me, uncle, hear me. The same thing Jagdev say he can't do with the ExxonMobil and the Stabroek Block contract. He is now changing for all the other oil blocks, including Kaieteur and Kanji, what ExxonMobil already signed on to. Yes. You hear that, Danny?
Corruption.
The same contract, what I said they can't change? Jagdev already changed it in the Stabroek and Kaieteur.
Conveniently.
How come he can change Kaieteur and Kanji along with the 7 others, but the only one, ExxonMobil one, can't change? Eh? What happened with this sanctity of contract? How come the 9 contracts can broke, but not Stabroek Block that holds the bulk of the treasures? Who you think they're trying to fool, eh? Uncle, you want to hear this? You want to hear him for yourself? Listen to him carefully. Every time he open his mouth, he dig a hole deeper for himself. And he got all these clowns behind him, including President Ali. Let them hear him.
So we talk about contracts before. We have effectively renegotiated 9 of those contracts, 9 of the 10 contracts, by changing the terms of the PSA, because they all have to now comply. There were 10 of them, including the Kaieteur and Kanji and all of them. They now have to comply with the new terms of the PSA, which is a 10% royalty, 10% tax, 65% for cost recovery. That's what has been done. Effectively renegotiated. So you chose a part and you didn't see contracts. I said contract. You said Jagdeo promised to renegotiate Exxon contract. I never said that. I spoke about the contracts, that these contracts will have to come into compliance. I was speaking about generally, and then when asked specifically about the Exxon one, I said no. No.
That was 2 weeks ago at this press conference, Uncle. 2 weeks ago. 10 oil contracts signed in this country. All 10 sacred. All 10 set in stone, signed with blood. Them blood, not mine and yours. 9 can change. They're not sacred no more. But the sweet man one. But a sweet man one can't change. He got to be sweet. The man gotta be sweet. Daddy,
Yeah.
the man got to be sweet. Yeah, man. That Stabrook Black got to be the real sweet for Jagdeo and the others, including Nartner Ramjatan. That when you talk about renegotiating the Stabrook Black, it's like you're interfering with their pockets. It's like you shake the nuts. Abricampton Norton wake up in the wee hours on a story Kaieteur News carried and mentioned that he talked about renegotiation. The man immediately sent out a letter stating that he never used the word renegotiation and wanted Kaieteur News to correct it and send the letter saying how he only talk about change, not renegotiation. Is how come all these guys are afraid of this word, renegotiation on the Stabrook Block? Eh, Danny?
Yes, sir. We agree.
Every other block can be renegotiated. Every other block got to pay taxes and more royalties. But the Stabrook Block remains the same, sacred and untouchable. You guys really understand what's going on here? And the games they're playing with your prosperity and your future? Uncle? You got 10 mango trees with 10 contracts with different pickers. The biggest mango tree with the best and sweetest mangoes, your children is given the skin and the seed to suck on, while the picker and his children enjoying the flesh of the mango. And the parents have no problem with that. Them telling the children, don't worry, you're going to get little flesh from the other 9 mango trees when I even start bear yet. Uncle, you don't even know if the 9 other tree gonna bear anything. But you're allowing one man with the best mango tree the world ever see, walking away with everything, leaving your children with white mouth. That is what Jagdeo doing to Guyana and all of us.
For the people.
Huh? A few years ago, I went to France, and walking in the city, me and my friends saw a restaurant showcase with amazing food, buffet style. We get hungry right away, Bernard, and decide to go in there and take we lunch. While in the line with my plate in my hand, a young African man stood outside the showcase right where we were before we go in. And I could have felt the hunger and longing He was feeling for a taste of that food. Man, uncle and auntie, you guys had to see that man's mouth and face expression to understand what I'm talking about and how he was feeling. He left and walked off. I put my plate down and went after him and brought him back to eat with us. When we went up to pay, the owner of the restaurant, who saw what I did, came up and asked me if I know the man. And I said, yes. Why? He said, no. He just wanted to know. But the owner, Danny, realized that I don't know the man because he looks completely different from us. The way he dressed and the way he looked. You know? A total stranger. So he told me, I don't have to pay for his food. I said, no, it's okay. I'll take care of it. And he insisted and said, no, everything is on the house. Just go, take a table and eat. You know what moved him? He knew by looking at us, we had no relationship to that man. And that pricked his conscience and tell us to take all the food on the house free.
What is humanity out?
Uncle and auntie, I share that story because if this country, this non-white country, keeps going down the same road with all these foreigners snatching out our wealth and not changing anything, the leaders not changing anything, many of our brothers and sisters will end up just like that young African man, walking around Italy, France, and America, staring into restaurant windows and could only wish for a spoonful of what they see. You know, uncle, at least that white man had a conscience, knowing that after destroying Africa by stealing out all its wealth, he was able to say, take the food and go. What happened to Routledge and Darren Woods them? What happened to Jagdev and President Ali, Norton and Ramjatan? Where is their conscience on this one contract that gives us pittance while robbing us blindly of billions in American dollars? Where is the conscience of Routledge and Darren Woods, knowing that half of this population is going to bed hungry when the night comes, and half of our school children going to school with empty lunch kits? Are these human beings or heartless beasts that would watch hungry Guyanese in their faces and snatch the little food they got in their hands, telling us contract can't change? Man, uncle and auntie, you got to get up. We need to tell them, we need to tell everybody, tell your neighbor to get up and get out. Get out. We need to also tell all the foreigners to get out if we can't get a rightful share. And we got to be loud and angry in their faces so they must know we mean business. We must get our rightful share, auntie. Jagdev telling us he never talked about renegotiating the Stabrook Black contract. He said He was specific when he was asked about that. Why is he specific about that? What they do to him, or what they're doing for him, that he could say, that one's sacred. He can't touch that one. You guys understand what is going on here, man?
Yeah, it's full of that.
Let me make this crystal clear for you guys. The Stabroek Block, the Kaieteur and Kanji contract has the same terms and conditions. All of them had 1% royalty. Let me repeat it, man. All the oil blocks, all the blocks had 1% royalty. The coalition government managed to get ExxonMobil to change it to 2% in the Stabroek Block. Let me sip a little tea, please. Thank you, Miss Mortley. Jagdeo now going to change all the rest to 10% royalty, but not touching the Stabroek Block one. Am I clear? Bernard?
100%.
All these contracts also said no taxes. Jagdeo now demanding 10% taxes from all the rest, except the Stabroek Block one.
You want all the
All the contract had said the oil company can only take out 75% cost oil at any given day. That too Jagdeo changed. Now Jagdeo asking or demanding from the oil companies 65%. Not 75, 65%. But Exxon Block one remain the same. Uncle, how come Jagdeo can change all this with all them rest of contracts, but the one laying the golden eggs at present, that one can't touch? Why, Uncle? Why, Danny?
beat me.
Listen, he said they never promised to change the Stabroek Block contract. Could you play that? Let them hear him.
The president pointed out there would be no renegotiation. He explained why of the Stabroek Block. We have effectively, I saw Kaieteur News conveniently again played something that I said. The context was that we were concerned about the renegotiation, the ring fencing and everything else. I've expressed concern from day one about that. But we made it clear in opposition. I can find you a tape in opposition weeks before the election. We were not convenient weeks before the elections. I will find you a recording at a press conference when I was asked definitively weeks before the election. And we said, no, we didn't change the position.
Wow. You see how he emphasized? He can find me. That one tape, when he was asked definitively, or when he said no. Uncle, Jagdeo said he got a tape that he will find to show Guyana. He never said he will renegotiate the Stabroek Block contract. But me, I will only play 2 tonight out of the many tapes in which he said very loud and very clearly he will renegotiate all the contracts. Raj, you're going to play it and you guys will hear. You guys will decide who is a deceiver or the crook in what he said about me cutting and pasting tapes to suit an agenda. Could you play the tape? Let them hear him.
Sold us out to the foreigners. The oil companies, every time there is a find out there, our people should should be sad because nothing comes our way. We are going to renegotiate those contracts because that's not what we had in mind. When we were in the early days, we were coaxing the people to go along. They came into office, 3 billion barrels of proven reserves, and then gave up a zero royalty, no taxes, no ring fencing.
You want me to play it back again, Uncle? We will renegotiate those contracts. In the early days, we were coaxing the people. Which people, Uncle? Is only ExxonMobil been here in the early days. PNC go in when they find 3 billion barrels and they give up zero royalty, no taxes, no ring fencing. And how that got for change, Uncle, is who define that 3 billion barrels? Huh? Who find that man? Lall? Na ExxonMobil? So which contract he could have been talking about earlier, brother? Huh? The same man who say he never promised to renegotiate went so far as to go to Parliament and abuse out the coalition, telling the nation how they trudged in there, unprepared, and stuck us with a contract that would harm us for decades into the future and sell out the patrimony of the country. Listen to this gamester again. Play him.
After ExxonMobil came here under the PVP, explored under the PVP, found oil under the PVP, at that time we had a chance to renegotiate the contract to bring more benefits to Guyana. Mr. Speaker, that company walked in because they're very smart, big company. They look out for their shareholders. And so what they did, they walk in with their maximum demands. Our incompetent government trudged in there unprepared and stuck us with a contract that would harm us for decades into the future. They sold our patrimony. And when they were caught, Mr. Speaker, with this, what did they do?
When they were caught with this, what did they do? What is he doing today? Now he's in control. You hear him, Bernard? When they were caught with this, what did they do? What is he doing today? Now he's in control, Uncle. He's not changing nothing. He's changing every other contract, but not that one. Knowing fully well, this is the part, knowing fully well that all can be changed. And the contracts gives Guyana room for that. Is who playing games now with our future here, Uncle? The coalition? Or Vice President Jagdeo? Now we going and approve the 5th project with the same terms and conditions. 0% royalty, no taxes, no ring fencing, not capping the interest rates, and still not even telling us the interest rate we paying presently. Anytime you people allow Jagdeo to approve this 5th project, hear me clearly, Uncle, I would seriously consider whether Lall should be on this radio, continuing to do this show, or leave them to slaughter y'all like animals. Old people say, when you can't hear, you just got to feel. I'm preaching on this radio 2.5 years now, man. Wait, y'all not gonna wake up? Y'all foot glued to y'all floor, or y'all house wall? Or cat gone with your tongue? Y'all really want good, y'all really want a good future? Really? Well, you guys have to go out into the streets so that so that they can see and hear your voices